Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Harakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great most on the rule wall, and Shalom to the brothers to the white side and truth. Yeah, here in the UK, this, this old energy crisis, it's gonna get peak. Cause it's funny, they just passed. Well, I'll read into it a bit because it kind of goes into it. But it's more or less they put like a cap on energy prices um a little while back. And these things are basically expiring, and you're getting like the limits of how much can be charged for this energy going up. And it's, whilst that's going up, the money people are making ain't going up either, man. And, obviously, inflation's hitting everything. So that's why they called it, it's gone from energy crisis to cost of living crisis. Because for you to just keep, stay on the planet Earth, well, stay in, the hell's this place called, the UK, and just keep doing what you're doing. It's nowhere near the same level of ease as it was previously. So it says, so on AP News says, Britain see 8% spike in energy bills as crisis deepens. Jennifer Jones keeps feeding money into her energy meter, but it never seems to be enough, and when she can't pay, she feels the impact immediately. The power in her London home has gone off suddenly 3 times recently. Once when her partner was cooking an egg. Like millions of people, Jones, 54, is struggling to cope as energy and food prices skyrocket during Britain's worst cost of living crisis in a generation. The former school supervisor has health problems and relies on government benefits to get by, but her welfare payments are nowhere near enough to cover her sharply rising bills. Yeah, and it's funny because, all the kind of different benefit systems you've had for a while now. Really, since the Tories came in, they kind of just rolled it all. Well, they switched it from the various different benefits before to just one universal credit, and then they basically put like limits on it so that essentially people are getting less money, having to pay less. And that's been their approach for a while. So now it's like, especially if you ailment, you're fucked like she is, then it gets peak. Like you're barely kind of able to survive. So unless you've got like legendary kind of disability, these men are trying to not give you nearly enough to get by. And anyway, it's like even what would have been barely enough to get by like 6 months ago, now you're gonna be broke, man. You're gonna be going hungry for a few days a week on the same amount. So it's fucked. People are fucked. It says, I've always struggled, but not as much. Everything's going up and I can't even pay my rent, my council tax. I can't afford to do anything. I keep asking myself, what am I supposed to do? And yeah, it's like there's hella people that's like this. There's people where they're working, they might have just been getting by, especially they got kids. They might have kids they need to, drive to school, need to do certain things, get them clothes, etc. If they were just about able to get by, now it's fucked. Just off the food prices going up, energy prices going up overall. Especially when it's going into winter is when there's it's gonna be another price increase on the energy. So it's gonna be an ice cold, a glacial, a legendary winter, man. What's it called in Game of Thrones, man? Not the Night King, the Night Kings. The Night King's gonna be rolling through, man, this winter, because these things are all compounding, and there's no end in sight. Says okay. And things are getting worse. UK residents will see an 80% increase in their annual household energy bills the country's energy regulator announced Friday, following a record 54% spike in April. This will bring costs for the average customer from 1,971 pounds a year to 3,549 pounds. Through all kinds of through. The latest price cap, the maximum amount that gas suppliers can charge customers per energy unit, will take effect on October 1st, just as the cold months set in. So yeah, October 1st is that's when the cold's gonna be setting in, the autumn's gonna be coming in, and considering how much of a consistent scorcher this summer's been over here, then it's like, yo, that winter could hit them peaks as well. Where it's fucking ice cold, man, that brick cold. And then if you ain't got the heaters popping off, it's a wrap. The latest price cap, the maximum. Jesus, what's that? The latest amount that gas suppliers can charge customers per unit of energy will take effect October 1st. Just a couple months in, the bills are expected to rise again in January to £4,000. So that's gonna go up again even after that, like midway through the winter. So it's hell on earth. So it says to blame for the increase is the soaring price of wholesale natural gas triggered by Russia's war in Ukraine, which is driving up consumer prices and roiling economies across Europe that rely on fuel for heating homes and generating electricity. That includes the UK, which has the highest inflation rate among the G7 wealthiest democracies, and seen disruptive strikes for months as workers push for pay to keep pace with the increasingly expensive cost of living. Yeah, I think that was yesterday. I cycled past it. Royal Mail was doing their strikes. They were like their little pink high-vis jackets, striking for pay. The trains for like the whole summer, like trains, National Rail a few times as well, and bus drivers one or two times. They've been striking non-stop because it's funny as well because I think train drivers are like the only people that have actually got their pay somewhat keeping up with inflation because they strike so much. But it's like a bunch of other industries. Oh, the barristers are striking. There's a barrister strike as well. I can't remember if they're doing it. I think they just started it. A barrister strike for like the legal aid barristers, because they said they're barely getting paid enough, and it's like you hear the amount of money they make. Like they said, there's guys on like I think 16 or 18k a year, which is fucking insane. Consider like they say they have to be earning that much for like 2 or 3 years, which is just that's not even like in London. That shit is beyond peanuts, man. Like you're barely living. But that's that disruption, that's also affecting the economy, and that's gonna have it's the inflation's just gonna start getting wild. Because why, even if people are being paid more, everyone's gonna start charging more because they got to pay more wages for staff and these different things, or they might have to partake in certain government programs or whatnot. But it's all these things compounding, bro. Winter's gonna be wild, man. So that says that includes the UK, which has the highest inflation rate among the G7. Oh, distract. So it says the energy increases, together rapidly rising food costs, are expected to push inflation above the 40-year high of 10.1% recorded in July and trigger recession later this year. I'm like, bro, the recession's already, it's I believe it's 2 quarters of like, I think it might have been like 0.4 and then 1% or something like that, of the economy shrinking. But recession's already kicked in. These man, it's in the UK, they're talking about it as such, but it's like really in the States where they're trying to pretend, a recession ain't happened, because, people start getting flashbacks to 2008 and start losing their minds. So it says, the Bank of England has predicted charities, public health leaders, And even energy firms warn of catastrophic effects on poorer people already struggling to afford essentials as wages lag behind. So yeah, it's all kinds of hell. Because she's on benefits, and she's not even on the complete salt benefits, because she's got health issues, so she's getting a bit more than most. It's like if you're just out of work for a bit, and people are gonna be getting fucking sacked. So yeah, people are gonna be out of work. But it's gonna be legendary, man. People are gonna be getting gonna be getting completely smashed, man. Isaiah 30:1, it says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." And that's what Jake really out here doing. Putting their trust in what? In Esau and his system. They're looking to him for some kind of answer, some kind of response. They're expecting him to basically provide them with what's it called, man? Some form of ease. But you're barking up the wrong tree. That's the joke of it. The joke is you're actually barking up the wrong tree, because in reality, how's it gonna work out? Ain't gonna work out. How you desire. Because why? Because these things are happening through prophecy, and that so-called ease, you're clamoring for. They're gonna use your desperation to get back to that. To get you to take that charagma, man. That's really how it's gonna shape up. That mark's gonna be utilized as the key thing to bring ease, to bring stability, to bring all these things that now people are realizing are going out the window. So it says, therefore, no man, it's insane. It says, the water go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Yeah. So they're basically putting all their faith within what? Within Egypt, within the system. Like, okay, we'll be able to arrive at some point, enough of a compromise, enough of a an answer to then be able to what? Withstand through these times. But that's gonna be the charagma, that's gonna be the mark. And that's gonna be you're marking yourself for destruction. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Yeah. That's the state they're in now. Now is a time where it's what do you call it? Wisdom and knowledge shall be stability of thy times. Isaiah 33:6, it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. Yeah. Wisdom and knowledge, that's basically going to be what's going to stabilize you through these times. Because as far as people in the world, they're looking for everything to go back to normal. That's why, everyone's kind of been in the, what's it called? It'd be reminiscing, I guess, about, former years and how things went down there, and they're trying to, basically catch and get back to the old spirit. But in reality, now you got a circumstance going on between Russia and Ukraine, where it's now the hot thing they're talking about is, okay, could there be a nuclear incident in Europe based off these guys fighting around these different nuclear plants. So as far as it's that dream of everything going back, that's all in the bin, man. That's all in that's a long lost, it's a completely forgotten, mythological thing that they're desiring after, man. That's a vain imagination, because we're already, you know, beyond that point. Um, read this. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famines and great death, the beginning of wars and the powers that shall stand in fear. Yeah, all these things are coming. They'll come in as once. They're coming in combination, and really it's all these different sorrows. The war is really from the war between Russia and Ukraine. That's where you're having a lot of impact just being compounded, because it kind of has forced a quick response, and then other issues that were there in the background and now being felt even more so. And it's kind of wild still. Because there's been, you know, things combat. It's like in the UK, it's like really from the Brexit vote. That's when the UK's been in its decline. And that's why it's like even before the war, the UK was having an energy crisis because of a variety of different issues. But there was already problems there, and now it's just like, okay, you got the war just stacking, food prices, fuel prices, fucking up certain industries, all kinds of shit, just being felt, and then it's just more than one thing. It's getting peak. Says what? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges of remembrance. No, for remembrance. For all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yeah, and that's really what it's meant to. It's meant to be a correction tool. These hardships coming. But now everyone's looking to Esau for his answer. They're saying, oh well, if there's a famine, then this guy's got his fertilizer. He's got his a variety of methods by you can still make certain things grow. But that's really what they're looking at. Or they're thinking, okay, global economy, we'll get from goods from this side of the world and bring them back here, whatever the hell. So these men are scourges of remembrance. These men are completely disregarding the lesson, but that's through the spirit too. Because why? That disregard of the lesson is so that it can go further. Just like with Nineveh. So the 31 says so that says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and other that escape the hunger shall sword destroy. So this is the thing with all these signs, with these times where things are peak. It's I think come winter you're gonna have a lot of people just like dropping dead, because we had that with when they started cutting benefits and energy prices went up before. Well, it's just general shortage of cash, like for those in pension, old age pension kind of age. They were just like fucking sitting there and freezing to death, man. Some of them were like, oh, I can afford to have electricity running my TV or turn the heating on, and then they sat there watching TV and they dropped dead because it was too fucking cold. So yeah, it's gonna be immense, and really it's a thing where people it's gonna take them as a surprise. says what? And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. Yeah. It's, you know, it's once it starts getting to that peak kind of level, which over here, it's really looking like it's gonna pop off. Then what? It's gonna be easy. But yeah, I'll leave you there. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yeshua, B'Shem Makak Dash Bakata. Shalom.